right, so data analytics with Excel. Data analytics with Excel. So we started off by looking at what introduction to MS Excel, understanding the interface, workbook, worksheets, navigation, selecting cells, editing cells, formatting what you have inside the cells, making the text bigger, smaller, adding borders, adding color, and so on and so forth. We also looked at adding numbers in cells, referencing cells, name box, formula bar, and the like. We looked at applying filters and paste special as well. The interface of Excel, and finally, we said we're going to be starting from the data cleaning and preparation aspects today. So data cleaning and preparation, okay, I have the methodologies in here, okay, but the explanation regarding data cleaning and preparation, I'm going to be giving you right now. All right, so before we move on, I want the class to be an interactive class, so I ask questions, you give me your input, okay, and so that it won't be rowdy, okay. Once I ask a question, you want to give a response, just raise your hand, okay. So what is data cleaning? All right, what do you know as data cleaning? Do you have any idea about what data cleaning is? I know I've given a brief hint about data cleaning and preparation in the last class or last two classes when we're looking at the phases of data analytics. So, yes, Chester Uche, can go ahead. Chester Uche, you can go ahead, please.
Okay, I should take the mic.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I think data cleaning is a process of filtering data to make use of the information needed from a cluster of data.
Can you speak up, please? We can't hear you.
I said data cleaning is a process. Is it okay now?
Yes, a bit.
Am I audible? Data cleaning is a process of filtering data to pick the information needed from a cluster of information, from a pool of information.
Okay, all right. So while that is not entirely correct, that's a very nice try, Mr. Chester. So let's move on. Morayo, I'm going to give you a try.
Okay. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Okay. What I understand by data cleaning, it's a task like removing duplicate entries, handling missing values, correcting typos, and standardizing formats. It's like tidying up data to make it more reliable and ready for analysis. That's all.
All right, thank you very much. Finally, HK, you want to say something? HK, I can see your hand raised. You have something to say. All right, so I guess you don't have anything to say then. All right, so data cleaning, as you have said, while some of you are correct, some of you are partially correct, okay? So first and foremost, it is not taking out the data you need from cluster data, okay? That would most likely be more referred to as filtering, okay? Filtering, getting the data that you need from a group of data. So you want to filter out what you need, okay, and what you don't need. Now, data cleaning is more like just as it terms, data and cleaning. You want to clean data. And before you can clean something, it means that that stuff must have been dirty. Okay? Before you can clean an item, it means it must have been dirty initially, isn't it? You don't clean what is clean already. Imagine you buy a brand new car direct from the showroom, all looking brand new, clean, sparkling. Do you take it straight to the car wash to wash? Or you buy a new shoe, sneakers, Nike or Nike Jordan? Do you put it inside water and begin to scrub the life out of it? No. So you wash or you clean what is dirty, isn't it? So it means that from that term or from that terminology, data cleaning, it means that data can be dirty. All right. So before you can effectively define data cleaning, you need to first know what a dirty data is. I hope everyone is listening. All right. So it means that you need to first know what a dirty data is before you can then go ahead and define data cleaning. Okay. So what is dirty data? What does it mean for data to be dirty? All right. What does it mean for data to be dirty? Now, when you have data, whether in your Excel file, as a CSV format, or in a database, a dirty data is a data that contains irregularities. It contains errors, inaccuracies, can contain duplicates, anything at all that can affect your analysis, okay, makes the data dirty. All right. So errors, inaccuracies, inconsistencies, duplicates. These are things that make your data dirty. Okay. So you now understand the meaning of dirty data. You know what it means for a data to be dirty. Let's give an example. Say, for instance, you have a record. Okay. Or you have records. Rather, you have data with multiple records. Okay. For instance, a sales data. All right. Now, if you have the same record twice, okay, maybe someone bought an item, Apple, and you entered it into the system twice instead of once, it will tell you that you're meant to make, let's say the Apple is being sold for 100 naira. It will tell you that you're meant to make 200 naira at the end of the day. Meanwhile, it is only 100 naira you made. But because it was entered twice, that data is already inaccurate in that sense. All right. So you need to remove duplicates so as to prevent such situation. Okay. Now, another example is where you have in a column, you are having only numbers. The column is for sales. I'm meant to have just numbers there, numeric data type. But if in a particular record, instead of having 100, you are having 100, that's letter O. Okay, because of the letter O there, it looks like 100. But if you want to perform analysis on that column, it will not capture that 100 as a figure. It will skip that value. Okay, so if you have on day 1, you made 200. On day 2, you made 100 naira. But that 100 naira has 100, which is letter O, instead of 00. Okay, if you say, what is my total sales? The computer will give you 200 instead of 300. So if you don't check effectively to make sure that, okay, I don't have inconsistencies in this data, it can mar your analysis. It can break your analysis. It can make your analysis bad. So you see what it means for a data to be dirty now. All right, good. I hope you like the style I'm taking with it. Now, you know what dirty data is already. What then does it mean for data to be cleaned? Or what is now data cleaning? So data cleaning is simply the process of cleaning your data. You don't want to use the word cleaning. What does it mean? The process of removing those things that make your data dirty. You know that if you want to wash a shoe, what you want to wash off is the dust. What makes your shoe dusty? The dust on the shoe, the dirt that has picked up, okay, from the road. So that is what you want to remove from your shoe, isn't it, to make it clean? So to make your data clean, you want to remove those things that make it dirty from the data. All right, see the way I'm breaking it down. Now, you know what a dirty data is. You know what it means to clean your data. Okay. Now, in order to be able to effectively clean your data, you need some tools. Okay. In Excel, you can use Excel to clean your data. You can clean data in Excel, rather. You can clean data in Power BI as well. Okay. Now, in order for you to be able to effectively clean your data, there are some techniques that you need. Okay. Now, if I ask you, okay, what are techniques of washing clothes? You can tell me, okay, you can wash with cold water and soap. Okay. You can wash with, you can first soak your clothes. If it is white, soak it inside hypo. Okay. To remove stains. All right. You can soak it inside hypo to remove stains. That's another technique. You can soak it inside hot water. That's another technique. Oh, you can use, what is it called? For people that dry clean, there are some particular chemicals they use. That's another technique. Okay. So depending on how dirty the data is or the kind of stain you want to remove, there are different techniques to clean the data. So also is it the same way when you come over to data cleaning. Okay. So in data cleaning, if you need techniques as well to clean your data, they are available. Depending on how you want to clean your data, depending on what it is. That is the reason why when I'm teaching and I teach you the technique, okay, I need you to understand the technique, okay, and don't just peculiarize it to the particular approach I take or the particular data I'm using it on. Understand the concept, understand when am I meant to use this. Don't just see it as a technique that, okay, for this data that Mr. Malik is showing us, that is the kind of data we use it on. No, you need to understand the technique itself. All right. So when you understand the technique itself, then you would be able to, you will find it easy to make use of it whenever you need to make use of it. You will know that, okay, in this kind of situation, I should be able to make use of this technique to clean the data. All right. Now, in techniques for cleaning the data, we have the following: deleting blanks. We have fill a range. We have flash fill. We have find and replace. We have formatting. We have sort and filter. We have changing string cases. We have joining text. We have text to column. We have removing duplicates. Okay. Now remember that this is not only data cleaning, but it's also the data preparation phase. Now let us now explain data preparation. Okay, it is also a part of the data cleaning phase. Okay, but the idea about it in this part is that you do not need to only clean. There are some transformation you can do. For instance, you can transform a column from one form to another form, e.g., dates. Dates can be in numeric form and you can transform them to date form. Okay, another type of data is time. It could be in numeric form that you transform to time form. Okay, or for instance, you have a column for unit price per product and a column for quantity of product bought. If you want to calculate the sales per transaction, you need to multiply the unit price times the quantity of product bought for you to get the sales of that transaction. Okay, now creating a new column from two existing columns is a form of data preparation or transformation. Okay, so over there we'll be seeing how to create columns to calculate things from multiple columns, and then we'll also be looking at our date functions. Okay, so there are other functions that we'll be looking at, but when we get there we'll cross the bridge. So we're going to be starting from here today, though we might not be able to see everything today. Okay, all right, so let's just move on. Wherever we stop today, we'll pick up from there in the next class. But I believe the brief intro I've given us at least has given us some insights as to what data cleaning and preparation is. So we're going to be starting off from deleting blanks. Okay. I don't know who is writing on my screen. Pardon me. Give me a minute. Okay. So now, deleting blanks. In the Excel slide, you have the steps to follow that can help you. Okay, you have the steps to follow that can help you, but you need to understand what blanks are first, which is the explanation I am going to give you now. Okay, so you see, aside the slides that you're having, you also need to be in class for proper explanation. Okay, so that you won't feel like, okay, you don't need the class. Once they give me the slide, I can read through, or you won't feel like I only need the class. With the class, I'm okay. I don't need the slide. Okay, so you see that you need the two of them hand in hand. So deleting blanks. Number one, you need to understand what blanks are. Okay, so blanks are rows that enter. Now, when we say blank rows, okay, it should have been titled deleting blank rows. Okay, but when they say blanks, generally, they are talking about rows. All right. Now, if you talk about blanks in the concept of Excel, it could mean an empty cell. Okay, but when we are removing blanks, when we talk about deleting blanks, we're talking about removing rows that are entirely blank. Meaning, if I have a set of record, if one row is entirely empty, that is a blank row. You know the meaning of blank? Empty, meaning nothing is there. Okay, so if an entire row is empty, it means there is nothing there. Okay, that is a blank row. All right. Now, it is necessary to remove those kind of rows because it makes our analysis harder. What do I mean? We're going to be going back and forth. Let me open my Excel. What's it called? All right. Okay. So this is the file. This is the file. All right. So this is the file. Now, deleting blanks. Okay. So welcome to data analytics. Like I said before, we're going to be looking at deleting blanks now. So as I said, empty rows that are entirely empty. All right. So rows that are entirely empty. Now you can see one of those rows here. You can see another one here. You can see another one here. You can see another one here. Okay. Now you can easily delete an empty row by coming here. Okay. Come to the row number that is empty. Right click and click on delete. It deletes that row automatically. Okay. Please pay attention. I will not attend to please sir, do it again. Okay, so I need you to pay attention. Pay close attention. All right. I see we are about 105 on the call now. So that's good. Now, I'm going to undo by pressing Ctrl Z. Okay. All right. So I have this back. Let me zoom it back so we can see it. Now, the issue with deleting manually like this is that in deleting manually, imagine you have quite a number of records, maybe 1 million records, and you're having blank rows like this in between them. What do you do? Do you go ahead and delete manually again and again? Or you might feel, why don't we leave it? Let's leave the data set there. Let's leave it as it is. What exactly does this blank row, what does it do? Now I'm going to show you what it does. Remember in the last class, we looked at auto sum. Say for instance, I come to the bottom of this cell and I want to sum the total here. If I come here and I come to formulas on my ribbon tab and I click on auto sum, you see what it is trying to sum for me. But this is not the range I'm trying to sum. Okay, the reason why it is only able to detect this range is because there is a blank cell here. Okay, so it makes it hard for Excel to easily pick it up all the way to the top. Okay, so now how to remove these blanks? You now know what blank rows are. So how do we remove them? It's very easy. Make sure that you click anywhere on your data. Now, this is your data range. Outside here is outside your data range. Okay, this inside here is your data range. So click and drag to highlight the entire data. After highlighting the entire data, come to your home tab and come to find and select over here. Under find and select, click on go to special. Go to special. All right. Now click on blanks. Blanks. When you click on blanks and you click OK, you see what happens. Only those rows that are blank are highlighted. Only those rows that are blank are highlighted. Now that you've highlighted those rows that are blank, what you want to do is that you want to delete them, isn't it? Now, to delete those rows, you simply come to your tab again, your ribbon tab. Come over to where you have delete. Click on this arrow here, and then click on delete sheet columns.
Sorry, maybe you should zoom your Excel backward a little so that we can see the arrow that you are pointing on the Excel. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you. Do you hear what I said now?
So now, let's take it again. After your rows are highlighted, do you see that? Your rows are highlighted, isn't it? Now, to easily delete those rows that are highlighted, all you simply need to do is to come over to your ribbon, okay, where you have this editing ribbon group. Remember, you're on the home tab, okay? Now, you're looking at the editing ribbon group. By the side, you have the sales ribbon group, okay? Now, click the arrow where you have delete, and then these are rows, not columns, okay? So what you want to delete is the rows. So I'm going to click on delete sheets rows, and you see that it deletes it automatically, okay? Those empty rows that we had there initially, they are gone, okay? Now, if I come to the bottom and I say, okay, let me sum this column now, come to formulas and take the auto sum, you see how it clearly picks the right range to sum. Okay, so for whichever one of these columns that I want to do it for, it is easy for me to do it because I have effectively removed the blank rows. All right, so you see the reason or the need to remove blank rows now whenever you have blank rows. All right, now we're moving on to fill a range. So for the deleting blanks, you can see the steps have been given to you one after the other here. Okay, it's usually like this for the techniques. Okay, because we know that you are just starting out. But as you are moving on, Okay, as you are moving on, the steps, okay, taken in the slide tend to reduce, okay, because now we believe that, okay, you should have been able to grasp to some extent and begin to practice on your own without necessarily seeing the step to follow one after the other in the slide. But those steps will be communicated to you right here in class. Okay, so we're moving on to which one now? Fill a range, isn't it? Now, what do we mean when we talk about a range? A range is a sequence of cells. Sequence of cells. Okay? Now, this is a range because it goes sequentially. F3, G3, H3, I3, J3, K3, L3, M3. Sequentially. Okay? Now, if it is like this is also sequentially. F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, and so on. Okay? So the idea here is that the range that you have is a sequence of cells. Now, you want to fill a range. From the name, what does it mean? It means that you want to insert something into that range. You want to input something into that range. Now, you have sequence of cells that you want to input one value into. Okay? Now, if I have letter A here, bam, this is one range of cells. Then if I take it from here, this is another range. Okay? Separated by this cell that has letter A in it. Okay? Now, when does fill a range come in handy? Let's look at this example that we have here. We have records for sales. Okay? Customer name, the item they bought, and the amount for which they bought it. Okay? Now, what do we do in this case? You look here, you would see that on this column, we have name, Christy. Christy is meant to be here, all the way through here as well. Okay? Morgan is meant to be here, all the way through as well. Okay, because Christy bought jeans, sneakers, t-shirts, sunglasses. Same thing for Morgan, same thing for Wilfred. Okay? But imagine, because with Excel, once you are done with the Excel class, okay, depending on how frequent you practice, even though we said this training is for 3 months, okay, but if you practice every single day of this your Excel training, okay, at the end of the Excel training, you should have been good to the extent that you can begin to do data entry jobs on maybe Upwork or sites. Okay, so it is what you are taught in this Excel training that you will be making use of most of the time. Any other thing that you might find difficult won't be that much. It's something that you can easily search on Google. Okay, so whatever it is you are taught in this Excel, take it seriously and make sure you practice it every day. Even when we are doing the Power BI training, you can be doing virtual, freelancing jobs on data entry in Excel. Okay, now look at this case. They want to fill in this name all the way down. All right, they want to fill the name all the way down. So you fill Christy into this range of cells. You fill Morgan into this range of cells. You fill Wilfred into this range of cells. Okay, and imagine the person has 1 million records. How can you do this? Oh, you can click this cell, come to the corner here. Let me zoom in so that you see it better. Now, if I click this cell, you should see something like a small green box here. Okay, at the corner of the cell. If you bring your cursor to that corner, you see that it turns to a thick black cross, if you click and drag down, you see that it feels Christy in those cells as well, right? That's fine. Let's come here. Let's do the same thing. Click and drag down. Do you see that? Oh, this is nice. I can actually do this. Click and drag down. But imagine we are going to row 1 million and something. Is that how we are going to be clicking and dragging down wherever we find those blanks like that? What is a much more better approach to doing this? Oh, now pay attention. The first thing is to make sure you highlight that column. Please pay attention, okay? And get it at once. Highlight the column. Once you highlight the column, come over to your Home tab. Okay? On the Home tab, you go to where you have Find and Select at the corner here. Then click on Go to Special. So you want to select the blank again. So click on blanks and then click on OK. It selects the blanks. All right. Now, what you want to do is don't click your mouse. Just press equals to on your keyboard. Once you press equals to, it will appear in the first cell. Okay? Equals to what? Equals to, click the cell before it, which is this cell A2. Do you see that? Now, what you want to do is press Control Enter. Press your Control key down and press Enter and see what happens. Once you press Control plus Enter, meaning your Control key, press it down. While holding it, press your Enter key. It automatically fills in everything that needs filling. Do you see that? Where there were blanks before. It fills it with the name that precedes that range of cells. So it means if you have 1 million rows, in just 2 to 3 steps, you can fill them accordingly. If that is what you want to do. Okay? So, very straightforward. Number 1, do what? Highlight the column like this. Then come to Find and Select. Highlight the column, come to Find and Select, click on Go to Special, then click on Blanks and say OK. Once you have selected the blanks, press equals to on your keyboard. Don't click anywhere, just press equals to on your keyboard, then click on the cell that precedes this particular cell. Now, instead of pressing Enter, press Control Enter, meaning Control key down and Enter. It will automatically fill those range of cells. So for those of you that said I should take it again, I hope you have seen that now. So without stress, you can easily fill those cells automatically. Okay? Now, moving on. Flash fill. Flash fill. Like I said, in the PowerPoint file or the PowerPoint slide, you have it there. You have the flash fill option in there. Okay? Now, what does the flash fill do? What is the purpose of the flash fill? Okay? What is the purpose of the flash fill? What do we make use of the flash fill for? Now, the flash fill is an Excel technique, okay, used for filling a range of cells based on an example. Okay? Filling a range of cells, okay, based on an example. Now, the example is taken from the data in the data set originally. we have the steps here, okay, in case you want to learn from the steps on your own, in your free time. Now, let's go into our Excel file. Look at this situation where we have email ID, first name, last name. We have the name here, full name here, okay? Let's say we want to get the first name and the last name. We want to separate it out, okay? There are multiple ways we can do this in Excel. All right, multiple ways by which we can do this in Excel. We can use a function called text split, okay? We can use a method called text to columns, or we can use another method called flash fill, okay? So you'll be seeing those methods. You'll see text to columns. There is text to columns here, over here, that we're still going to get to, okay? So you can see each one of them have their own sheets. Now, in flash fill, I want to fill this range with the first name. Look at this email ID. And you are told that the first name is the name before the full stop in each of the email ID. Then the last name is the name after the full stop, but before the @gmail.com. Okay, so you want to grab the first name, Christy, Lainey, Morgan, Wilfred, Torre, Zorana, from these emails. How can you do that? Now, it looks as if this is filling into this cell. I'm just going to come here and double click to expand. Now, how can I do this? Excel is very straightforward. Just give it an example. Type the first one, Christy. Press enter. Meaning I am taking Christy out of this to have Christy. Now, because Excel has an AI embedded in it, it is constantly learning. You have given it an example. Excel has related this to many things across the sheets. Look at what happened when I press the letter N. Immediately I type the letter N, Excel gives me a suggestion. Now, is this what I want to get continually? And I look at it. Okay, this is the first name. Yes, yes. This one too. Yes, this one too. Yes. If I am satisfied with this, all I need to do is press enter. Now, when I press enter, it fills it automatically. You see this sign or this logo here is known as the flash fill logo. So what it tells you is that the operation you just performed is a flash fill operation. You can see how it fills it automatically. Okay, let's do another example. This time around with the last name. So come to the last name, type the last name, BC. Press enter. Look at it. I'm doing it again now. Okay. Once you press enter, the next thing you want to do is to do what? The first name or the first letter. Again, once you press the letter B, it gives you example again, automatically without stress. If you are fine with this and this is what you want, just press enter. So you can see that if you are given 500,000 records, and the person says, okay, just help me split these things, help me separate them like this, do that. Very straightforward approach. And you have gotten it. Okay? So this is to tell you that Excel learns from everything that you give onto it. All right? Now, if you do not want to take that approach, okay, there is another way. It is also flash fill, but you don't have to type the first letter in the second cell. So let's say here I give an example, Christy, and I press enter. So I can either type the first letter here so that Excel will give me a suggestion, or I come to my data tab, click data, come to where you have the flash fill icon here. Do you see that? Just look out for the icon. On your own screen, it might be bigger or smaller. Okay? It might be bigger and they will write it boldly, flash fill. Or it might be small like mine and you have just the icon. So this icon is what you want to click. You can see it tells you a shortcut is Control E. So if I click this icon, you see it automatically fills it for me without me even giving the first letter. It is to tell you that it is not your first letter that is activating it, okay? Immediately you type Christy here, Excel already has a suggestion for the remaining cells. Let's try with this last name. Last name, PC. Press enter. Now once I press enter, let us try the shortcut that Excel gave us, Control E. Control E. Automatically. Do you see that? Without any stress. Okay? So without stress, you have been able to separate the first name and the last name from the email ID. All right? So that is flash fill. Now remember, and always remember that when we are talking about this, we are talking about techniques for what? For data cleaning and preparation. Okay? Now, let's move on to find and replace. Find and replace. Find and replace. Now, when do you make use of find and replace? Just as the name implies, you find and you replace. Okay? Although it happens at once, it does not first find before it asks you, do you want to replace? Okay? It looks for the item you want to replace and replaces it at once. All right? Now, you want to replace a particular item. All right? You want to replace a particular item. How can you do that? Let's say, for instance, that I want to replace in this data now, okay, our technology department is no longer known as technology department. It is now known as IT department. Okay, so I have been tasked with the operation, okay, or I have been given the task to replace every instance of technology. So they said, anywhere you see technology, change it to IT. Okay, so instead of going one after the other, because I know some of you will just click on the first technology, type IT, press enter, go to the next one, type IT, press enter. Now you need to understand that these approaches are not the best, especially when you are working with large data sets. It might seem easy to do it because you are working with a small data set here. Okay, so that the data set will not look overwhelming. That is why we restrict to small data sets initially. But as you go on, you begin to see that you're working with large data sets. Let me show you an example. See this page. This is a data set. Okay, do you see that? All right, so it's just because of as we start, so that it won't seem overwhelming. All right, now let's say we want to replace every instances, okay, every instances of technology. I want to replace it with IT. How do I do that? Very simple. Now, do you want to replace it across the entire data, or you just want to replace it in a column? That is the first question you should ask yourself. Let's say, for instance, someone here, his first name is technology. Let me change this to technology. Now, look at this name here. The name is what? Technology, isn't it? Now, remember that it is the department that we are changing from technology to IT, isn't it? So I need to first select that column. You see the way I select it? Click on the column letter to select the column. Then come over to where you have on your home tab, press find and select, then press replace. Do you see that? Now, whenever you see an option like this and you are seeing shortcuts, take note of the shortcuts. Okay, it means that you don't need to come all the way here. I can easily press Ctrl H and it will bring me to replace. So you are coming to replace, not find. Okay, you use find if you want to look for an item. You want to see, okay, maybe this item is in this data. You use replace to change an item. Okay, so click on replace. Now, replace, we ask you, what do you want to replace? That's the meaning of this find words. What do you want to replace? I want to replace technology. I'll type it. Technology. With what? I want to replace it with IT. And then I will click replace all. Bam. Replace all. It says all done. We made 8 replacements. I'll click OK. And you can see that it has replaced it successfully. But the technology here did not change. Did it? No. Okay? Now, let me undo that. Assuming I did not select any column at all, and I say I want to replace, I just go to my distance, press Ctrl H for find and replace. Now I say find what? Technology, replace with IT. And then I say replace all. You see that automatically, even the technology in the first name, there is somebody's name. Oh, you can see that it also changed to IT. Automatically, we have distorted this data. We now have a wrong value here. But if the data is quite large, we might not easily know. Let's say the data is down. You might not easily tell. You might think, okay, so I've successfully replaced this. Okay, so you need to know the column in which you want to replace an item. If it is one column, just select that column alone. All right, so you see the reason why you need to select the column you want to replace in before replacing. All right, so I'm going to close. I'll press Ctrl Z. Now, let's say I want to replace sales. Okay, I will click on that column. Again, bam. I will press Ctrl H for replace. So find words, sales. Replace with replace with what? Let's say we want to replace with transaction. Transactions. Okay. All right. Now, look at these options. Match case, match entire cell content. Okay. If my sales, I put small letter S and I say replace all. Even though the sales in this place started with capital letter S, it will still work. You see that? Okay. But let me undo and let's do it again. This time around, let us say match case. Okay. Now, match case means that if it is capital letter, I say you should replace. Okay. If it's capital letter that is here, make sure that it is capital letter. If it is small letter, make sure that it is small letter. Now, remember that there's this sales, everything is small letter. Okay. There is no one with small letter here. So if I click replace all, it does not replace anything. Say we cannot find anything to replace because I'm telling it that it must match the case. Okay. Now, let's close this. Let's close. Let's do another example. Let's say salesmen. Salesmen. Okay. Salesmen. I want to change all the sales to salesmen. So I just did Ctrl C and I'm pasting into those cells. Okay. Ctrl C and then paste into the cells. Now, if I want to replace in this instance, okay, all I simply need to do, Ctrl H to replace. Okay, if I say replace sales with transaction, anywhere it sees sales like this, it will replace it. Now, if I click replace all, you see that those sales, it has changed it to transaction men. Do you see that? It is telling me that those sales, it has successfully changed to what? Transactions men. All right. But if I tell it to, let me undo. If I tell it to match entire cell content, meaning whenever you're looking for sales, make sure that it is only sales that is in that cell. If there's anything more than sales, don't change the sales. Okay, that's what I was saying. So if I click this, match entire sales content, I say replace all. You see that does not replace anything because there is no cell, there's no particular cell that it is only sales that is inside it. Okay, so that is that about that. All right, so you've seen find and replace. Okay, let's do something small and find. Let's say we want to see if there's anybody bearing Pablos in the data set. Just come to find, click on find, and what do you want to find? Pablos. Okay, so just click on find all, and you can see it give you where you can find it. Cell P13 is already there. Okay, so if there are more than one, it will give you all the instances where you can find that particular value. All right. Now, moving on to formatting. A quick one. I'm going to be dropping the attendance link now. So please, in the next 3 to 5 minutes max, you can use that to drink water. If you want to pick something or anything, quickly do that. Okay. So kindly fill the attendance right now. Kindly fill the attendance. Kindly fill the attendance. So we're 107. Okay, so everyone should be filling the attendance now. And the attendance is not something that takes time to fill. So I had 130 responses initially. So I'm looking at 130 plus 106. That's 236 responses. So please do that quickly. I like the way the responses are coming in. So nobody is having any issues with it. Please, let's do that quickly. The responses should be jumping up right now because it doesn't take anything to fill.
So how do I fill the attendance?
Please click the link. I've sent the link to the chat box. Click the link and input your student ID. Thank you.
The link has not appeared yet.
The link has appeared. You can see I already have 169 responses. I've sent the link again. It is on the Zoom chat box. On the Zoom chat box. All right, okay. So please fill it. Miss Bridget, you don't know your ID. Then it means you did not check the document that was sent to the platform. There was a PDF document sent to the WhatsApp platform. Okay? And all these things contribute to, what is it called? Your progress in this program. All right, so
sorry, Coach. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
There are vital information that will be sent to the platform, to the WhatsApp platform, that you need to make sure that you read. Okay? So I would encourage you from time to time, check the WhatsApp platform. Okay? Don't just feel like whatever it is they're saying there doesn't really bother you. Once it's time for class, you join the class. There are vital information that usually pass across there. Okay, so there's a PDF on the platform that has been sent there. Check the PDF and look for your, what's it called? Your student ID.
Okay.
We have just 2 minutes more. Let's be fast about that. 203 responses, and I'm going to 236. So please, if
Please,
you
when
have
was
not,
the PDF sent?
the PDF was sent around 6:15 today, 6:15 p.m. today on the
Mr.
WhatsApp
Malik,
platform.
please. The dash, should we add the dash or just link, just go direct?
Add the dash. Add the dash. You just joined the class and you don't know how to have your student ID. So Kubie, I saw your name and I've generated an ID for you. Check the PDF. Check the PDF that was sent to the platform. It shows that we are not checking what is sent to the platform. All right. So I am going to send the link one more time.
Okay.
Mr. Malik, I'm very sorry. I'm Rashida again. No, I can't do this thing. No, it's not going. I'm still using phone. I'm unable to install Zoom on my laptop.
I'm very sure
Please.
not everyone here is making use of Zoom on their laptop. Okay, some people are making use of it on their phone.
I'm not using laptop. I'm using phone.
I understand, ma. So you have to sort out that issue. I can't continue be helping you upload the attendance every class. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Malik.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Please, before we proceed, this flash fill stuff, we did not separate that of the main name. What about if the emails they're not with surname and first name?
Please ask that question at the end of the class.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we have just less than 1 minute to go. If you have not filled it, kindly fill your attendance now. For the last time, dropping it. You are not able to open the PDF. The PDF is opening on my end and is opening at everyone's end as well. So I wonder why you are unable to open the PDF. All right, so the time is 8:15. And we're going to move on with the class now. Okay, so 5 minutes of attendance taken. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's move on with our class. All right, so what do we have next? Formatting. 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 So, I need to hear from us. What do you think is formatting? What do you think is formatting? I need to hear some answers tonight. So what do you think is formatting? Can anyone help me? Yes, Mr. Abel, go ahead.
Formatting is all about making a space, providing a space. So let's say you have data, you want to clear up the data and make it anew.
Clearing up the data. Did you say clearing the data?
As in removing everything.
Removing
there's
everything.
A space. Yes, let me say you have your plan.
All right.
Not anything you do.
Thank you. All right, thank you. But that is not formatting, okay? So I get the idea that you're trying to define it from the concept of maybe you want to format your phone. Means you want to delete what you have on your phone. You want to clear up everything. But in the context of data and data analytics, that is not formatting, okay? But good trial. So let me just say this now before I move on. For those of you that are writing your student ID on the Zoom chat box, okay, that is wrong. Don't write your student ID on the Zoom chat box. Fill it in on that link that I sent. Okay? So I sent a link. That is where you should fill in your student ID, not on the Zoom chat box. Now, who else wants to try? Abdulaziz Siaka.
Good evening. Hello, sir. Good evening, everyone.